You know when you spend like 20 minutes trying to figure out why you can't get the whole of your head in your camera lens, and then you realise that you've got it on zoom? Yeah, that. Coffee vlog! Hello boys and girls. Caramel latte today, but it's not very nice caramel latte. It doesn't taste of caramel, which is going to sound odd to most people who know me because I don't actually like caramel that much. Anyway, so it's Monday. It's got to be update time, hasn't it? I'm all over the place. I really am. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, then you will know that I'm moving again next week. And for all you drama queens who are immediately like, oh no, what's wrong? What's happened? Ooh, there must be a story behind this. There's no story. There's no drama. Chill. I'm fine here. I like it here. Lisa's great. We get on fine. Not a problem. But her circumstances have changed and I am feeling very cramped. So between us, we've agreed that I'm not going to renew. I wasn't going to renew on a monthly basis at the end of my 3 months that I initially signed up for. This was never supposed to be a permanent solution. It was always ever going to be temporary until I found somewhere of my own. But we decided early that we weren't going to renew it on a monthly basis, but at the same time, you know, she wasn't going to hold me to staying here for 3 months and I wasn't going to be homeless if I couldn't find somewhere. I could just like renew on a weekly basis after that or something. So it was perfectly amicable. There's nothing to worry about. Don't start. There's no drama. What's happened is that, as I say, her circumstances have changed, which I'm not going to go into. It's nothing to do with you. And as it happens, when we decided that we weren't going to renew after the 3 months, I remembered that I'd seen a flat just up the road, literally a 2-minute walk. I walk past it on the way to the bus stop. That's how close it is. And I remembered I'd seen it when I'd first come up here. I thought, oh, I wish I'd realised there was flats available around here. Well, I made inquiries. Turns out it's a private landlord, nice chap, slightly older bloke, sort of my dad's age. And him and his son own a couple of places and they do them up themselves because they're qualified builders and plumbers and electricians and everything else. And it, you know, just earns them some income as far as I can tell. So I asked him about it, went and viewed it, and it's perfect. It is so, it really is perfect. The only thing I don't like about the entire flat is the 1970s pampas grass coloured carpet. But that's mostly because I don't like green. If it was any other colour I wouldn't have a problem with it, but it's green and I hate green. But it's really muted green, it's very pale green, you know, it's like that pampas grass bathroom suites that you used to get, pistachio kind of colour. So it's not too offensive, it's quite neutral. And the fact that it's got fire doors all the way through, but they're not painted, they're all brown. And you all know I hate brown. I'm not a brown girl. So I'm going to have a chat with him when I pick up the keys. You know, deposit's all paid, everything's sorted, I've just got to pick up the keys. And I'm going to have a chat with him and see if he'll let me get some white fire door approved paint. I assume with a fire door that you've got to have proper fireproof paint or something. That would be my guess, otherwise there's no point having a fire door. So I'll have a chat with him about that, and if he will let me, then I'll paint the 3 fire doors white because they are icky brown and they are butt ugly. They are really nasty. But the house itself is it's a house like this, but it's 2 flats. So there's an upstairs flat and a downstairs flat. Mine is the downstairs flat. There's a chap upstairs who's been there for years. He's really nice. I've met him already. He's very quiet apparently, out most of the time, so he won't be an issue. And it's in a proper house anyway, so you don't tend to hear what's going on upstairs in a proper house. Or at least not here. I mean, I hear a lot of people talking about, new builds where they've got laminate flooring and stuff like that, or particularly Americans say a lot if they don't like to have people above them in an apartment because you can hear everything. But in a normal house here, a brick terrace, you don't tend to get that, so I'm not worried about noise. The layout of it is basically the same as here. So you walk in the front door, and to one side there is a room that is, I believe it's 12 by 10 feet. That is the front room with a big bay window and looks out onto the street, but I'll come back to that in a minute. It's the bedroom. Then you've got, in the middle, you've got a lounge area, which is about 14 foot square. And then at the back, you've got the kitchen, but it's not a regular galley kitchen like you normally have. It's another 15 foot square room, and then you've got the bathroom the other side. So it's 3 really big rooms. So you can literally have a dining room or an office area in the kitchen if you want to, which is what I plan to do. I'll tell you about that later. The bedroom being at the front of the house on the road doesn't matter because it's a cul-de-sac. For those of you who aren't familiar with the term cul-de-sac, it means it's a blocked off road. So, and I'm right at the end of the cul-de-sac. So next, my flat is there. Then there's a set of railings and a block off that means cars can't come through. And then on the other side, there's a school. But it's pretty quiet, except for like picking up and dropping off time. It's very quiet because it's a non-through road. It's a side street. And then this side, you can't actually come up this road unless you come out from one of the side streets. And you've got no reason to come up to the end where I am unless you're like visiting one of the houses at that end, or I don't know, perhaps you're lost and you need to turn around. It's not a through road. There's not going to be any traffic. It's going to be fantastic. It's got, because it's the ground floor flat, it's got the yard as well, which is fully enclosed. Miss Maddie and Scooby-Doo will have a yard to play in still. And right across the road is the park. Like literally, you come out the front door, you cross the road, you walk down 5 yards and you walk in the gate of the park. And it's huge, it's massive, it's beautiful. It's amazing. And 2 minutes up this way is where I am now, and I can still get out to the park up there as well. So it really is not a major deal. It's not a big move. I'm simply moving into my own flat, which is awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm actually, having had such a bad experience with the last place, I'm glad I've had this kind of period in the middle to just settle a little bit. And Lisa's been really great, you know, it's been really nice living here. We are all very quiet, so there's not been any major problems or issues or anything like that. You know, we work around each other and everything's fine. But at the end of the day, I'd like my own space back again, and this flat is an amazing opportunity, and it's exactly the same price as I'm paying here. So, you know, it's no contest really. I'd be stupid to say no to it. So that's all paid up. The plan is to get the keys. I actually officially move in on the 1st of August. But the plan is to get the keys this weekend because my friend Rachel's coming up to help me pack up again and move some bits. We're going to clean the flat. I mean, it's clean, but it's been empty, so it wants to freshen up. So we're going to give it a once over, move some of my stuff over, and then next week my man with a van is going to come and do my furniture for me because I don't have that much furniture anyway. I've scored a couple of really nice pieces on Spock, which I think is a European app. It's Android and phone, but Android and iPhone, but it's only on the phone. It's only a phone app. It's a bit like a flea market. Basically, you can put stuff up for sale locally. People say, you know, you say, I'm getting rid of this, minimum price of tenner. Other people make bids, or, you know, you accept the best offer or whatever offer you want, and then you enter into a legally binding agreement, you make the payment and you collect the item. It's simple as that. I have scored on there a sofa for £10 and some kitchen chairs for £10 and a big desk, like huge desk, for £40. And my man with the van is going to pick it up for me on the way to coming to pick up the rest of the furniture. So oh, I'm really happy. All I've got to do now is get a washing machine. Okay, now a washing machine, I'm not having a second-hand one. Unless it's from somebody I know, like my last one came from Annam, my best friend, when they emigrated to Canada, and she'd only had it 6 months. And, you know, I trusted her, I was fine with that, no problem, I knew her, they're clean people. Her washing machine was well looked after, so I had it and it worked fine, and if I'd had anywhere to put it when I left the last house, I would have brought it with me, but I didn't have anywhere to put it, so unfortunately it's gone now. But it's cheaper, or more cost effective, let's say, for me to get a cheap new one from somewhere like Argos. It cost me like £150, £170, and it'll have a 2-year warranty. So it'll be better getting one of those than paying like £80, £90 for a second-hand one. While I save up for that, I might try and nab one off Free Cycle that will do for now. But I'm a bit fussy about washing machines. The idea of using a washing machine that wasn't clean, no, I don't think I could do that. So I don't want just any old washing machine. But I'm sure if I threw a few quid Lisa's way, I could probably pop over here and use the washing machine, or trade it for letting her use my tumble dryer or something. So that's not going to be an issue. But, you know, if you've been umming and ahhing about whether to take a class or not, go and pick up a mini class for £10, because if 15 of you do that, I can afford a washing machine. Hint, hint. Anyway, yes, that's the flat story. So as of August the 1st, I will be officially in my own place. Next week is, as it happens, this week is the 3rd week of July for When Frogs Sing, which means it's a drawing week. And then next week is a break week, where we have a week to just do what we want, do a challenge, you know, play about with stuff, catch up on classes, whatever. We do 3 tuition weeks and a week off every month. So yeah, next week is a free week anyway. So I've managed to slot it in right in the middle of my free week, and I can probably get all my work stuff set up straight away, because it's already separated out, it's already set up in this room. So all I've got to do is chuck it in a few boxes, whip it over there, set it up on the new desk. So yay! That shouldn't be a problem. I've been asking with my regular students about When Frogs Sing 2016 and what they want to do and what they feel like, and, you know, things like that, because normally in August, for existing students, I start offering them 5-month payment, which works out £20 a month, and by Christmas you're paid up and you're ready for next year. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the class yet. I'm waiting for some more feedback, but as soon as I know, you will know. The likelihood is that if I do run it again next year, because a year-long daily class is a lot of work, and I've done it 2 years in a row now, I'd like to do something else. I'd like to work on other things, but it's possible that I'll just break it up into 4 quarters and do it that way. I don't know yet. I'll do whatever people think needs doing. But it will still revolve around journaling and planning. It will still revolve around making art. It will still revolve around mixed media and journaling and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, same stuff that I always do, but I want to introduce some new stuff to it next year, because, you know, there's people who have been doing my classes now for 4 or 5 years, and they've done all the basics, and they've practiced all the basics, and then they've done all the basics again, and they've practiced all the basics again, and then they've done another class that's taken them a little bit further, and they've got better and better. And I'm now seeing students that are like 5 years have been with me, and they've improved so much they need a more advanced class. So I want to do some more advanced classes next year. So if you've got some more ideas of what you'd like to see in classes, or a class that you would love to take with me, let me know down below, because I'm open to suggestions right now, because now is the time when I start planning for next year. I'm not going to include One Book July in this vlog, because that is kind of separate. I'll do a separate video on that when I do my update. But here's my book so far, for those of you who haven't been watching One Book July videos. So I'm about a third of the way through, I think. I started July on page 40 and I am now up to page 98. I've had a lot of people, and specifically this weekend when I had some friends round, asking what do you put in your journal to fill that many pages? Because I filled like 50, 60 pages in 20 days since the 2nd of July. And it's hard to answer that question, but what came out from talking to people about this is that you don't all use your books for everything, and I do. And, you know, perhaps that's something I can look at doing as YouTube videos, as just, you know, journaling quickies kind of thing, little ideas that you could do. I do things automatically in my book, and an awful lot of you are like, this is my planner, this is my journal, that's what a journal's for, that's what a planner's for, and oh, I'll scribble this on a spare piece of paper. Well, I don't do that. So I think what I'll do is do a vlog showing you what I do with my book, because I've got things like, especially this one, I've been asked so much about this one. This page is the layout of my new flat and where I thought I might put my furniture. And particularly over the weekend, somebody said, well, I would never have thought of doing that. I would have done it, but I would have done it on a spare piece of paper. I wouldn't have thought to put it in my journal. I don't know why people don't think to put things in their journal. I can only assume that it's lack of habit. You get ingrained in your head that you're going to sit and write in your journal about the day or about whatever you're thinking about that day, and then you're going to draw a bit and put a few stickers in, and then that's it, you've journaled for the day. That's not how I use my book. I use my book all the time, every time, for everything, all the time. Even if I've got multiple books, even if I'm using my Filofax and my Midori, I will still use both all day. So, yeah, do you want to see a vlog on that? If you do, let me know. I did think about maybe doing some journal with me videos where you basically see what I consider the boring stuff, but you know, some people have been saying, well, that's not boring. I would never have thought of that. So, I don't know. Let me know. Talk to me. Tell me what you want. More coffee. That's what I want. Yeah, so I'm going to do an update on One Book July, and I'll do a vlog on, you know, how I use my book, how I actually use it and what I put in it, if that's what you want. Or I can do like creative quickies, you know, here's an idea, I'm doing this, here's an idea, kind of thing. Whatever works, whatever works. What else? Oh yeah, buy a class. Mama needs a new washing machine. Shameless self-promotion. Domains. There's been some confusion about my domain names. Basically, to cut a long story short, rhomany.org.uk was linked to a site that has now been deleted by the person whose server it was, which is all to do with the person that I was renting the house off of, so it's a big messy situation and there's not a lot I can do about it. So I've been trying to transfer classes over, but now obviously I can't literally just copy and paste it from one site to the other, which is what I was doing. Now I've got to look out my notes and basically rewrite some of the classes. So if your class is not up there, it's either been closed. If it was closed on the other site, it won't be transferred across. So the old Christmas Chronicles classes and Summer Long and all that kind of stuff, they're closed. They're done. Same with, obviously we're doing Christmas in July for the 2014 Christmas Chronicles, but the 2014 Christmas Chronicles bulk of it is closed because it doesn't run indefinitely, it's just open for the people who took it. But it only runs in December. It's not a permanently live class. It just, you know, you can just stay as long as you like kind of thing until the class closes, if that makes sense. Well, the class is gone and it wasn't my decision. So effectively the class is closed until I can find my notes and see if I can rewrite it. But, you know, in 4 months we're going to be doing Christmas Chronicles 2015, so I don't think there's much point, really. People don't tend to go back and do it again, they tend to start the new class. So, yeah, Christmas Chronicles in December, we'll do that again. And this year I may split it up into Christmas Chronicles and Christmas in July deliberately, because this year I've had to do it kind of almost as an afterthought, basically, because I was sick. And what I'd really like to do is do it in a more constructive way. So yeah, I might do that. I might do it as a, you know, you pay for one class, but you get to do some of it in December and some of it in July. I think that would be an interesting way to do it, or to plan it that way rather than just, you know, do it that way because of circumstances. What else? Do I have any more news for you? I can't. Oh, I've changed my hair. I suppose I should mention the elephant in the room, shouldn't I? Because somebody will ask. Yeah, my dreads are back in. They are synth dreads this time. They're not real dreads. I did have real dreads before when I had really long red dreads. They were real. These are synthetic, obviously, because I've got a pixie cut under here. And it's in the form of a dreadhawk. So it's, the dreads are in the top and the back here. But the rest of it, all this is very, very short. Just fancied a change, no particular reason, just felt like doing something different. I was originally going to have my red, keep my red that I already had, but the synthetic hair I got, oh sorry about the crinkling, it's regular 100%, we call it kenkalon here, but apparently a lot of people pronounce it kanekalon. I don't know, whatever you guys call it. This was the red I was going to have. As you can see, it matched my previous colour perfectly. This is Nubian Queen brand. Nubian Queen Jumbo Braid. Now, I've used a lot of jumbo braid in the past. I've used mostly the LA Trends, but I've also used Cherish and others. I have never ever had a jumbo braid that when you start back combing it, starts breaking off. Anybody ever had that? Because it was literally, it was breaking off in sections, like inch-long sections were just dropping on the floor. I've never had something that knotted up so badly but couldn't be turned into dreads. It refused to back comb, but it knotted up like crazy. It's the weirdest thing I've ever experienced. So if you've ever used Nubian Queen for synthetic dreads and you've had problems with it, or you've not had problems with it, or whatever, or you had problems with it and you fixed it, please let me know, because I really like this colour and I'd really like to go back to my red and have this colour in, because, you know, the black is nice, but it's a bit, no, I love the black, it's goth. You know, I am a goth after all, but I really liked the red. I really wanted this colour. So if you've used that brand, let me do a close-up for you. Please tell me what you did to actually backcomb it. I was using, maybe I'll try it with a plastic comb and see if that's any better, but I was using the metal flea comb that I always use, and I've never had a problem. LA Trends, I can do a dread in about 3 minutes. It's fantastic stuff. This, oh my god, I got so frustrated. It took me the best part of 4 hours. And I was like, oh, I've had enough of this. Can't be doing with it. I've not got a single dread after 4 hours. I'm done. So let me know if you're a dread maker. How have you got on with that? For those who are not familiar with synthetic dreads, I suppose I better tell you, these are plaited in. My hair is actually about 2 inches long, and the way I've done it, it's a bit unusual. They're not single-ended dreads, they're double-ended dreads. And what I did was, I took this part of the dread, doubled it over, and used that along with my 2 inches of hair to make a plait, and then banded it off. So if you wear dreads, you'll understand what that means. But instead of bending the dread in the middle like you normally would with a double-ended dread, I bent it at the ends, which means I've got really long, skinny ones. And because they're quite sturdy, they're not, you know, they get quite chunky and then they're very thin. So bending off that little thin part just means that the roots are not as thick and massive as they normally would be, which I like. I don't like having a big mass of hair here. I want the length. So yeah, for those of you who are interested in that, and yes, because I've only got a dreadhawk and it's basically just this part of my head down to about here, that has got dreads in it, I can actually wrap these up and put a wig over them if I want to. But the whole point of putting these in is because it's too damn hot and sticky and sweaty and humid to be wearing wigs right now. So I fancied a change and I thought I'll put my dreads in for a bit. They should last about 6 to 8 weeks depending on how bored I get with them and so on. I plan on putting some beads in. So if any of you, oh yeah, crafty people, if any of you sell dread beads or make dread beads or anything like that, or polymer clay beads or anything, and you have an Etsy shop, drop me the link down below and I will, obviously that will go into my spam comments, but I'll approve any relevant comments. And yeah, I'll go and have a look on your Etsy shops and see if there's some dread beads, because I quite fancy some little pops of colour here and there. Nothing too crazy, but just a few pops of colour, just to break up the black a little bit. I've got a couple of blonde ones in here. Again, just to break it up a bit. I've mostly been wearing it like this, but it's tied up at the moment with 2 of my dreads. But I can also wear it over to one side, which I like. I'm not entirely sure about the front row. I'm considering taking this front row out and redoing it in a different way so that I've got a bit of a fringe. I'm not sure. I kind of like the dreadhawk look, but I feel a bit bare here. I'm not sure. Hair issues, moving issues. Life is so complicated. More coffee, that's the answer. I think that's it. I don't really have anything else to tell you because, you know, I'm working, I'm moving. I've been asking about with my hair, you know, that kind of thing. I'm a little bit behind with Christmas in July. Those of you who are doing Christmas in July, I got my dates completely messed up. So I'm going to sort that out today because all the videos are done, but they're just, somehow I've missed a couple of days and I don't know how. I've been booking things for the 26th of July, thinking that was next Tuesday, and next Tuesday is the 28th. Sunday is the 26th, so I've lost 2 days somewhere, and I think that might be part of the issue, because I've just had so many things going on, and I've got so many things going on still, and bleh. You just get to the point where your brain can't take any more, you know, and I think I'm at that point. But anyway. UK people, we're thinking of going to Asylum in Lincoln, not for the whole thing, not for the event, because we didn't really want to pay that kind of money to go and have to stay over, and then we've got to take the dogs and it's a bit faffy and da. We're trying to get up there for like a 1 day to just go to the markets and stuff and, you know, just socialise and have a wander around Lincoln and things like that. So if you're going to be at Asylum in Lincoln, let me know, UK people, because we literally, you know, we just want to go up there and socialise for a bit and have a look round and go to the market and things like that. Martin's from Lincoln, so he knows the area well, and he kind of wants to go home and have a look. Yeah, I think he's a bit homesick. Yeah. Are you in the UK? Are you going to Asylum? Steampunk thing? Let me know. Whatever. I think that's it. It's not a very exciting coffee vlog today, sorry, but there's lots happening, but none of it is happening now. It's all things that are about to happen. And they involve a lot of work and organisation, but they're not really exciting enough to vlog about. Such is life at times. Anyway, I am going to get going and go and see if I can sort out Christmas in July and find out what on earth I've done to mess up all the dates and try and get those up. Then I have my When Frogs Sing class going live later today. That's my drawing class for the week. And I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. Play in my journal probably, that's what I normally do. Organise some house moving stuff, start packing, I don't know. I've just unpacked. I just finished unpacking and now I've got to pack again. But to be fair, I've got a lot of stuff because I've condensed down from 4 big rooms to like 1 1/4 rooms here. An awful lot of my stuff is still in boxes in the cubby hole upstairs, so it's not that big of a job. It's just my daily stuff and my clothes and my art stuff and things that I've got here. That's all going to be packed up at the weekend. But most other things are already in boxes, or Tracy took them away in boxes to store at her house, so it's not going to be that big a job. It's nothing like it was last time. Oh my god, last time was a nightmare, but this time should be alright. And like I say, I've got my friend coming to help me, so awesome. And oh, somebody asked me what I was planning to do for August once One Book July had finished. Was I going to stick with this book, or was I going to move, or was I going to do this, that and the other? I don't know yet. It kind of depends. I want to finish this book. I don't like having a book half finished, so I'll finish this book. I may use it for August, and then September, October, November, December I might go to the one book a month system that Planner Perfect, Jenny Penton, has been using. It's basically One Book July, but she does it all the time, and she has one, I think she uses Moleskine Cahiers in a Midori, in a Midori style, and she basically has one book for an entire month. I've been considering doing that because the Midori books that I love to use are, you can either get 64 page ones or you can get 128 page ones. I think 128 pages, it's not unusual for me to fill 128 pages in a month at all. So I'm thinking 4 of those for the rest of the year, September, October, November, December, might be quite cool just to have everything in one book. But then it would also be split up, because much as I love this, and I've set it up kind of bullet journal style, so I've got an index in the back and things like that so I can find things, there's no forward planning is an issue, first of all. So in August, I've got nowhere to put my forward planning stuff for August. I've had to print out one of my calendars. So I've got the calendar that I'm using here, and I've printed it out and I'm keeping it in the back of the book for August. And now I'm going to have to use a September one as well. So already it's getting a bit finicky, although I do love it. And in theory, I could put, I could just put my August month in here and my September month in here, and maybe even the rest of the year if I wanted to, and just have a section that was monthly calendars. I could do that, but it would drive me crackers. I like having the month at a glance at the beginning of the month. I don't care what order anything else is in, but I like my month at a glance to be at the beginning of the month. Call me weird, whatever, I don't care. That is how I like it. I always have it at the beginning of the month or at the front of the book. That is the only 2 options. And if I'm using my Filofax, I normally have my monthly spread up setups at the front, and then my weekly dailies behind that as my diary. So I've got scheduling and I've got diary. Scheduling is my monthly, what's coming up, appointments kind of thing. And what I'll normally do is, whatever month I'm in the daily weeklies, I will move that month into my daily weeklies at the beginning of that month. And then when I'm done with that month, I'll move it back and move the next month in. But I've still got forward planning. So, it's raining. And it's not proper rain, it's drizzly rain. It's that horrible drizzly rain that gets you absolutely soaked, but you don't feel like you're getting wet. I hate that rain. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Are any of you using Jenny Penton's system? Is it working for you? Are you using a bullet journal? How are you getting around the forward planning issue? How do you get around the forward planning issue in general if you normally use one book? Because I know there was lots of people, when we started One Book July, said, well, I'll join in, but I do this anyway. So, Marianne, Eveline, all you people, I'm talking to you. How do you get around your forward planning? What do you do? Do you have all your monthly spreads at the beginning of the book and do it that way? Or, what? How do you do it? Bullet journal people, how do you do your forward planning? I need to know this, because forward planning, appointments and things, I need my monthly I need my monthly. Okay, it's that simple. I've got to have my monthly spread. No matter what else I do in a book, I've got to have a monthly spread. So tell me, how are you doing it? I need to know. That's it. That's all I've got for today. I'm going to go and drink my coffee and have some lunch and go try and sort out what on earth I've done with my classes, because I've made a complete pig's ear of getting the dates set up. Tell me if you want to see more journaling videos. Tell me what you want to see, etc, etc. Down below, links in the description, etc, etc. Subscribe, like, yay, all that. You know the spiel. Come on, every YouTuber does it. You probably know some of them off by heart. I know Graveyard Girl's off by heart. But she says the same thing at the end of every video. So you kind of get to know what she's going to say. But, and if you're doing one book July and you're on Instagram, follow me on Instagram at Rhomany, because I've been putting my pages up there. Obviously, if you follow me on Facebook, you'll see them as well. But for those of you who don't follow me on Facebook or aren't friends with me on Facebook, I've been putting my pictures up on Instagram for One Book July as well. I'm going to go and sort out my classes and find out what pig's ear I've made of that, because I've definitely got the dates wrong somewhere. I'm going to do some more journaling. I'm going to sort out a One Book July update. I'm going to do a vlog on how I use my journal and things like that. And then I don't know. I'll just make it up as I go along the rest of the day, I suppose. But first, the rest of my coffee. I will see you later in the week. Bye!